You're watching a video on what happens when you're diagnosed with MS and what to do about it. And I'm going to use a real case study to illustrate what is actually going on. Meet Jacob, 27 years old. He just had his first kid. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what our game plan is going to be with Jacob because he had some weird stuff going on. I'm Dr. Forrest Sauer. I help people with autoimmune diseases like MS figure out why their immune system is attacking them and what they can do to calm it down. Jacob started getting numbness in his arms and his fingertips and then in his legs. Then his vision started to blur. And then several weeks later, the diagnosis was confirmed that he had MS. And yeah, he thought his life really was over. After going to his doctor to talk about what his options were, the advice that he was given wasn't so helpful. He was handed the standard script of there's no cure, we'll manage it with medications, and we'll just hope for the best. No testing beyond the MRI. No curiosity about what caused this immune system to freak out in an otherwise healthy 27-year-old male. That didn't sit right with him. And if you're here, I'm guessing it didn't sit right with you either. Now, the first place we looked with Jacob is a comprehensive blood panel. You see, with MS, in cases like this, we have found that if you are going to start fixing the problem, you first need to find out what the problem is. And what we found with Jacob is that he had a hidden gut infection and his vitamin D was bottomed out. Now, the reason why vitamin D is important, especially in autoimmune diseases like MS, is it suppresses, means brings down, something called Th17 cytokine production. Th17 cytokine production is making the bad stuff. In medicine, we just call the bad stuff cytokines. Put differently, autoimmune diseases creates a lot of inflammation, toxins, and bad stuff. The body uses the vitamin D to bring down the inflammation and toxic production. And if we can do that in Jacob, then we can help Jacob manage his MS without it getting worse. So here's what it looks like. So in autoimmune cases, you have the Th17 pumping out the bad stuff like inflammation and toxins. Now the vitamin D is going to start decreasing the Th17 production, which is a good thing because you want less bad stuff. So if we can drive down the Th17 with our vitamin D, that means we're going to have less bad stuff, and that is going to slow down his multiple sclerosis. So the first thing that we needed to do was build up Jacob's vitamin D levels. And the second thing is we needed to detoxify his gut. Now, increasing his vitamin D levels, that's pretty simple. Give the guy vitamin D. But for his gut, we did something different. We started with what we call a food elimination diet. It's where we remove the most common food sensitivities that might be triggering the immune system to attack his nervous system. Most common food sensitivities that we see in our clinic are gluten, corn, soy, dairy, sugar, nightshade vegetables, and beans. This might surprise you, but we have found a strong connection between autoimmune diseases and food sensitivities. But here's where it gets wild. Nobody had ever told Jacob that gut health had anything to do with MS. Let that sink in for a moment. The part of his body housing 70% of his immune system was being completely ignored, and nobody was going to do anything about it. You see, what we do, it isn't magic, but nobody seems to do the basic things to bring the body back into balance. It is biology working the way it's supposed to once the problem is actually addressed. I know you most likely have been told that MS is random, but what we have seen is that there is a reason why it is happening. It's often a chain reaction of ignored systems, blowing fuses, and silent red flags that nobody's checking for. So my hope for this video is that if you have been diagnosed with MS or are suspicious that you have it, my hope is that you can see that there is real healing that is possible. Your body is an incredible and wonderfully made, and it can recover. If you have made it this far and this was helpful, leave us a like or comment below. And if you would like help with your autoimmune condition and get help just like Jacob is receiving, then you can schedule your discovery call just like Jacob did by clicking on the link below.